Hello, this is Dr. Tim McGuinness. I'm a director of the Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams. We are a nonprofit, government-registered crime victims assistance and crime prevention organization based in Miami, Florida, and incorporated in the state of Florida. We provide services and support to scam victims worldwide, as well as crime prevention activities to assist government in reporting cybercrimes and scams, as well as apprehending and leading to the arrest and conviction of scammers around the world. Today, I had the opportunity to testify before a meeting of the United States Federal Trade Commission and provide testimony regarding their rulemaking on impersonation scams, specifically government and business impersonation scams. Unfortunately, this did not directly address consumer and relationship impersonations. However, it did directly impact those in the following ways. The testimony that I provided dealt primarily with social media and their activities involving restraint of trade by shadow banning organizations like SCARS to prevent us from providing avoidance and identification information so that consumers can recognize and avoid, discover, and then ultimately recover from impersonation scams of individuals, from organizations, businesses, and government. A significant percentage of telephone scams are in fact business and government impersonation scams, impersonating tax authorities like the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, law enforcement such as bail scams, arrest scams, and the like, as well as Social Security and benefit scams. So today's meeting with the Federal Trade Commission was very welcome in beginning the process of combating these scams on a federal level within the United States. Inferentially, it will affect scam victims through much of the English-speaking world, as well as Spanish-speaking world. The testimony that I provided dealt with a restraint of trade issue associated with shadow banning, where social media organizations such as Facebook arbitrarily penalize Facebook pages that in every other respect are fully compliant with their community standards. But because Facebook decides that they don't like the message that we're providing to consumers to help them avoid scams on Facebook and elsewhere, they will arbitrarily reduce the number of people who can see our posts and publications. On many of our pages, we literally have thousands of people who deliberately followed our page so that they could see each and every post that we publish. But Facebook arbitrarily decides that no, they'll only allow 20 or 30 or 200 people to see this particular post or any particular post. Additionally, we wanted to bring to the Federal Trade Commission's attention what we believe to be a fraud being perpetrated against social media advertisers and the shareholders of the social media companies. One of the principal value mechanisms or means that determines the value to shareholders of these companies is the number of active users. And by the same token, the ability to reach active users is also the measure that defines the pricing for advertising on these platforms. In 2018, I believe it was November, the former president of Facebook came out as a whistleblower and declared that as much or more than 50% of all profiles on Facebook were fake, fraudulent, or in some other means, not a real active user. Additionally, Facebook publishes in their reports to their shareholders, we believe a willfully inaccurate estimation of these as well below 10%. Our own belief is that This number is close or identical to the number that was reported back in 2018. Facebook themselves admits that they delete over 1 billion profiles a year. But these are primarily newly created profiles that do not meet their initial criteria for account creation. It does not mean that Facebook is actively policing their platform to eliminate all fake profiles. In fact, as an organization, we firsthand know that Facebook rejects the majority of reports that we provide and that our volunteers provide of fake and false profiles. We believe that this represents fraud against their shareholders and against their advertisers. And we encourage the Federal Trade Commission to review these matters for potential regulatory action. The purpose of the meeting was, again, to review the issue of government and business impersonation and to take a vote on the measure that was before them. In addition, part of the background for the need for this particular measure was something that happened in May of this year, where because of a gap in the actual law that established the Federal Trade Commission, the Federal Trade Commission Act, Section 13B, the United States Supreme Court ruled that the FTC did not have the authority to recover and distribute funds to consumers who were wronged by the business or entity that was the focus of a particular lawsuit. Best examples of this that we know of is the remission program for Western Union and for MoneyGram. Now, what this means is that the US Supreme Court decided that the FTC does not have the authority to reimburse consumers in these cases. What this means for the Federal Trade Commission's actions for reimbursements for Western Union, which are still continuing, and for the thousands and thousands and thousands of individuals who have applied for MoneyGram reimbursements, we do not know yet at this point in time. We do know that the Federal Trade Commission went before Congress earlier this year to resolve this gap in the FTC Act, but the FTC met with deaf ears when they went to the House of Representatives and to the current administration. The result is we know of no action at this point in time to address this or to restore the FTC's ability to continue to act on behalf of consumers in the recovery and disbursement of monies obtained in ways that are contrary to the best interests of consumers. This is unfortunately a bit of a hammer blow, particularly to scam victims, and we will be continuing to monitor and pay attention to what this impact actually is on the current two programs, Western Union and MoneyGram, and whether or not this has shut those down or whether or not the monies already transferred will continue to be dispersed. Thank you again for listening to our summation of our testimony today before the Federal Trade Commission. This has been Dr. Tim McGuinness. I'm a director of the Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams, SCARS. You can learn more about SCARS at www.againstscams.org. You can contact us by email at contact@againstscams.org. To learn more about scams and scammers and activities by the FTC and our organization, you can also visit www.romancescamsnow.com. This video is copyrighted 2021, Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.